Hello there, great person, and welcome back to my journey into the world of Warhammer 40K. So today we're gonna dive a bit deeper into the Space Marines, because that's basically what most of you suggested for me to look into first, and I'm gladly gonna do that. I got told that I got Necrons a bit wrong last video, that they are not like Nanites, but like living metal. So how does that work? Does that have any connection to the warp? I don't know, because I now know that's the magic source, so perhaps that's what like it's. I don't know. We'll find out down the line. And yeah, I also got told that chaos is not like completely pure evil. Like it can also be good, but it's like very I mean, that's in line with myths. Like chaos in myths is not good or evil; it's both and none. So fits. My yeah, that was pretty cool. So I tried to watch one of Bricky's videos, but the humor wasn't for me. So you're not gonna see me watch those until I know a bit more about this universe, because most of the jokes fell flat because I had no clue what he was talking about and what he was making jokes about. And so I will tell you the information I got from the video because before I stopped. So what I got is Space Marines are somehow they are carrying some organs with them, and they have these Primarch dudes, and the Primarch dudes are either selected by the Emperor or like I don't know, and there are 20, and that's all I knew. Oh yeah, and the first Legion I think is very fast. I didn't get that. Yeah, because I want to get information, and if these hard jokes are put into the video, like I get distracted and I can't think properly about it. I really want to dive into it, like I really want to immerse myself into it and not get ripped out every 2 seconds by a joke that I don't understand, and that's like okay. So I will watch them down the line, I promise, but I will keep those for later when I know more and when I actually can laugh at the jokes and not wonder, okay, was this a joke? Was this real? What was this about? So I hope you can excuse me not delving into those. Yeah, so today we are therefore reacting to a video called Warhammer 40K Lore for Newcomers, which is me, who are the Space Marines. It's by 40K Theories, and it's, yeah, it has been posted 4 years ago. So as always, please watch it first on their channel. I will link it in the comment in the description below. Make sure to check them out first. They are the main creators of that. And also like this video if you enjoy my reaction, helps a bit grow the channel. And I will just get into this, and I want to know what the weird organ sex are about. I hope he's going to tell me that, and I hope that he's not going to distract me with jokes that I don't understand. So yeah, let's get into this. And here we go. Oh yeah, there they are. There they are. And that's a space orc, I have learned. Oh wow, what the frick, that looked cool. I like this double-headed eagle thing.
Hello everyone, this is Remlace from 40K Theories.
Why is there a weird crocodile dude talking to me? That looks pretty cool, actually. So this is I mean, his avatar, probably. And this is a skull that brings mail. Okay, but I don't know, where is this? This is probably chaos, isn't it? It's probably chaos. I mean, this looks like an old crocodile demon, and this is a demon skull that's floating around. So I assume this is chaos. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, of course, as always. Correct me always when I'm wrong, because sometimes I get things wrong.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace.
Oh, great.
The Codex Astartes are genetically augmented transhuman super soldiers originally designed by the Emperor of Mankind himself.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Something like that was said in the Bricky video as well. So he designed them personally. What does that mean? What was the Emperor, God Emperor, whatever his name is? Was he a bioengineer? so he could do this? Or how did he create them? Or was he like a psyker? It's called psyker, I think. And was he a psyker and used the warp to create them? Or how did he create them? Wow, tell me, Warhammer 40K theories, please.
They are larger, stronger, and longer lived than regular humans, with heightened reflexes, a superior healing ability, and cognitive enhancement.
Oh, yeah.
They are one of the Imperium's most elite fighting forces, akin to militant
Wow.
monastic orders.
That looks so cool. Why is he golden? Why is he golden? Like, did he buy the elite skin for his thing? I mean, it's obviously so this looks like a halo, of course, and these are like very, very, I don't know, these skulls, I don't know. And the golden guy here is obviously the leader.
And they are more commonly known to the people of the Imperium as the Emperor's Angels of Death.
Ah, Angels of Death.
They are separated into various chapters, each with their own heraldry and unique cultural aspects. Some are brutal and savage berserkers from vicious death worlds.
Oh, great, great. So, different chapters. How did they come to be those chapters, and why are they different? Is it like every world has a chapter? Because I'm not sure how many worlds actually are colonized in this universe yet. Yeah, like, is it 50 or is it 50 million? We don't know. Like, a galaxy is pretty many stars and star systems, and yeah, so we might have a great empire here, and yeah, so it's probably not a planet per chapter, but so some are savage, and they are called Angels of Death. I like the symbology again, this biblical, almost biblical symbology of the emperor being God emperor, and these are like his angels, like his messengers, so to speak, of death. They bring the message of death to everyone who needs to hear it, so to speak. It's pretty badass.
While others are stoic and disciplined, being the epitome of humanity's nature.
Is it though? Is stoicism the epitome of human nature? Interesting, but why are some stoic and some are not? Like, is it because in several situations you need several solutions? Like, in some situations you need just to hit them hard so they die. And in other situations you need like diplomacy and with diplomacy I mean like at least talk to them before you like end them or make them run away or whatever. So that is not really in line with their kill everything that's Xenos thing they've got going. But yeah, why stoic?
Whenever they make their presence known, they bring hope to the loyal servants of the Emperor, and fear into the enemies of man.
Yeah, very angelic stuff. Like, that's so cool. That's so cool. I really need to read up on the religion of the Emperor. That sounds so interesting.
True justice is quite simply the will of the Emperor.
Yeah, I mean, it's from librarian Franz Grenzstein. I'm German, I can pronounce that correctly. Haha. Anyway, of the Imperial Fists. So, true justice is quite simply the will of the Emperor. I really like that. I said it in the last video that it's the Star Wars problem. Like, it's the same thing that Palpatine did. He said, okay, we've got a war and everyone's like dying currently, and both sides have heroes and villains. And I'm gonna talk about the villains now. The other guys that we're fighting, they're evil. So listen to me, I will tell you what's right. And then they get murdered. And then after that, I will give back my power. And it's actually something that, as far and perhaps I'm wrong, it's from ancient Rome when they had dictators. Like, a dictator in Rome was not like someone who ripped power from the Senate or whatever. It was like a position you were chosen to be. So a dictator was chosen for war times, and then he was like the authority, as far as I know. and his word was law for the period of war. And after the war was over, he like stepped aside, and the Senate came back again. So it was a bit like Star Wars had the idea as well there, and they seem to have had this idea perhaps as well. But then it got very bad because there was just no end to the war. And everyone just killing each other. And they had 1,000 filthy Xenos that tried to end them. I see. It's interesting how this simple quote has so much in it. But yeah.
The creation
Good old
of
Franz.
the original Astartes began at the end of the Terran Unification Wars, prior to the advent of the Great Crusade.
Okay, we've got two new informations. Terran Unification Wars and Great Crusade. The Terran Unification was obviously like Earth got united through some means we don't know yet. I will see it down the line. And the Crusade is the interesting thing. It's again this belief thing that the God Emperor will bring peace to the universe if you believe in him. And they do the Holy Crusade and spread God Emperor God's word. So very cool.
They are, in essence, the successors to the Emperor's original Thunder Warrior project, who were even larger and stronger than an Astartes, yet with much shorter lifespans.
Yeah, that would make sense as well if it's like the idea of the emperor dictator from Rome. That makes sense because they are only needed for the war times and they can die. Like then why pay their rent and why pay them when war is done? I mean, what are you going to do with killer machines after the war is done? You let them die. So that's probably quite good there. Interesting. I like that it all fits very well together. Perhaps I misunderstand stuff, but
The genetic material used in the creation of the Astartes was harvested from samples taken from the infant forms of the Primarchs, the genetic sons of the Emperor himself.
okay, so they are genetic sons, and because you said genetic, so are they naturally born or are they like, oh god, this opens such a big can of worms. Are they like, is the Emperor genetically engineered? Was he a genetic engineer? Why are his sons now having these superior genes, or are the genes taken and made superior in the Space Marines? Or so many questions. So many questions.
The Primarchs themselves would be spirited away from the Emperor's gene labs before they reached maturity by the Chaos Gods and scattered throughout the galaxy.
Okay, so the Primarchs were taken away from the labs. Why? By whom? Not by the Emperor, I assume. And they were by the Chaos Guards. Does that mean Chaos Guards from like the Chaos faction? Like, did they take them and spread them in the galaxy? For what reason? For what purpose?
These warriors, augmented with Primarch DNA, the first true Astartes, would be organized into 20 separate legions, which could be up to 100 times larger than a modern-day Space Marine chapter.
Okay. So they were the old ones. The old ones were the legions. So the 20 legions were created from the genetic samples of the Primarchs, and they were spread across the galaxy. Interesting. Why did they turn to chapters? Hope we'll find out.
Over the course of the Great Crusade, each Space Marine Legion would eventually be reunited with its respective Primarch, who would take command of the Legion.
Ah, okay, now I see. So the Primarchs, I got it wrong. The Primarchs in the laboratory and their samples were taken. And they were spread, and so they've got reunion. Like, it's happy family reunion. Oh, father, I haven't seen you so long. Oh no, kill Xenos. I know, it's in my blood. I don't know. And it's so cool. I wonder if there are stories out there that like tell this. Like that would be so interesting. Like seeing the reunification from the perspective of a Space Marine.
Two of the Primarchs and their respective legions would have their names and records erased from the annals of Imperial history for some unknown transgression.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Who these Primarchs were and what crimes they may have committed is unlikely to ever come to light.
Wow, that is so cool. What the frick did they do? Like it couldn't have been being non-xenophobic. Like they couldn't have been friendly to Xenos, because then it would have just been probably taken to the public and executed, and everyone was like oh, they did bad. Of course, they are executed. Like they have to have done something that's so weird or terrible or strange that it had to be purged from the history books. That sounds so ominous. I love it. It's like they perhaps created something. Perhaps they did some forbidden ritual or whatever, and I don't know. I hope there's like stuff on this. I would love to read a story on this.
Within the early years of M31, a civil war known as the Horus Heresy would erupt, where fully half of the remaining Space Marine legions would rebel against the Emperor and side with the treacherous war master of the Imperium, Horus Lupercal.
Okay. Oh, that's why it's called Horus Heresy, because Horus was the guy. So Horus was doing heresy, and that's why he had to be purged, of course. Wow. Okay. So that was okay. Okay. So they fought each other, the factions that are like that were like. So was it like 9 against 9 because 20 were there, 2 were deleted, so we have 18 left. So 9 versus 9, or was it uneven? Probably uneven.
This civil war would devastate the nascent Imperium and result in several Primarchs being slain over the course of the conflict.
Oh god.
And it would end with the Emperor being mortally wounded and interred into the life support systems of the Golden Throne.
Wow, that's so dark. Oh god, mate, look at your eye. Look at whatever cybernetic replacement you've got for your other one. So that's so harrowing. So he's still conscious. He's missing at least one eye, like half his senses. Perhaps he can still feel stuff through the warp. And he was mortally wounded. It looks like someone like pushed a sword through his torso. So how did that happen? He lost both arms and his skin. What happened? What happened to you, mate? You are Jesus Christ. What happened to him? He looked pretty good before. Like this angel figure. Now he's like death itself. Wow. I hope there is something about that where we learn what exactly happened in this Horus Heresy. That's so interesting, because it was not like they did not run them over like the heretics. They were actually beaten pretty badly before they won. So it was probably a very, very bittersweet victory, because they lost a lot as well, like their emperor's glory, so to speak here.
It was following the events of the Horus Heresy that the Primarch Rabute Guilliman would pen a text known as the Codex Astartes, which would restructure the Space Marine legions into smaller chapters.
Okay.
Some chapters would retain their original legion name and heraldry, while the others would take all new names and heraldry and would become known as successor chapters.
I see, that's cool.
Guilliman's reason for splitting the legions was to ensure that no one man could have the power that Horus himself had, and in theory, prevent such a civil war from ever happening again.
Wow. That is so cool and so clever. So he put them in smaller groups, and how did they make sure that they wouldn't like Ellie again? How did he make sure of that? Why? Interesting.
Fenris breeds heroes like a bard breeds drunks, loud, proud, and spoiling for a fight.
Okay. So we've got Grandmaster Belial, which is, of course, some mythological creature, god thing. The Dark Angels, okay. Fenris breeds heroes like a bard breeds drunks, loud, proud, and spoiling for a fight. Yeah, okay.
The creation of a Space Marine
wow,
is
that
a
looks
long
cool.
and time-consuming process, which takes approximately a decade to fully complete.
Oh.
Aspirants are taken at a relatively young age, typically between 10 to 12 Terran Standard years of age.
Wow. That reminds me a lot of Sparta and Spartan training. Also, the training was probably grueling and deathly. I'm going to predict that now, and it's not a good prediction, like, because it's obvious, I think. So they were 10 years of grueling training. The best I've seen this depicted in media is in Forever War, where they trained, like they had also exosuits or suits like this that were like supporting them in space and stuff, and they were sent to one of Neptune's moons to train the suits and building stuff, and they all died. Like 70% of them died because it's a moon in space. Of course you die. So that was harrowing, and this is gonna be harrowing as well. So let's see how PG this gets now.
Each Space Marine chapter will have their own unique recruitment process.
Oh, interesting.
And those
Okay.
aspirants who are chosen will be forced to undergo certain trials to prove their worthiness to be made into an Astartes. The aspirants of the Raven Guard, for example, will be tasked with capturing and killing a Kievaran Raven with their bare hands to prove their skill.
Is a Kievaran Raven 50 feet big and very, very, very strong? I would think so, because, yeah, it's cool that's in their name. Why, though? How did that develop? Oh, God, it has the German eagle on it here, like it's the Reichsadler. Yeah.
While aspirants of the Blood Angels must cross a vast and dangerous desert to reach an area known as the Place of Challenge to prove their worth.
Interesting.
If these aspirants prove themselves worthy, then over the course of the next 6 to 10 years, they are implanted with each of the organs unique to Astartes' physiology.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Why, though? Like, what are these organs even doing? Like, are they additional lungs? Are they like filtering bad particles? Or why? Why do they have additional organs? To make them stronger, obviously, but in what way? Oh God, look at that. That's so horrifying. And it's this typical, like, horror surgery. Like, you're probably awake and they've got these things and it's just opening your rib cage because why not? Of course it is. But oh God, this is such horrific stuff. I love it. I love it. It's so cool. Yeah, so then they get probably also like injected with the genes then, because like if you're chosen, and then yeah, interesting.
As their training progresses, these neophytes will typically spend time within the scout company under the tutelage of a veteran sergeant,
Okay.
although this varies with some chapters. It is here in the scout company that the neophytes will be trained in the art of war and how to utilize the weaponry and equipment of the chapter.
That is reminding me now of Starship Troopers, where they like the ground company, like they go into war to just learn, have fun killing bugs, and here it's probably have fun killing Xenos, learn how to use whatever that weapon here is. Looks big, it's probably loud and does a lot of boom, so yeah.
When the initiates are deemed ready, which is roughly between 16 to 18 years of age, they will receive their final implant, the Black Carapace, and become a fully fledged battle brother of the chapter.
What is that? What is the Black Carapace? What exactly are those? Like, I'm sure there is meaning behind all of these things that get implanted with. What is the final thing? Which thing would you implant the last? The genetic material, perhaps? From the
Once they
Primarch?
become a battle brother, Astartes will move from the scout company into one of the other 9 companies within the chapter, with the exception of the first company, which is purely for the most skilled and honoured veteran warriors of the chapter. Once assigned to a company,
Oh, he's got
these
Wolverine
battle brothers
claws.
will then be attached to the chapter's Devastator squads and will be tasked with calling targets to the veteran battle brothers of the squad, who will be the ones utilising the heavy weaponry typical of a Devastator squad.
So they're called Devastator squads, like the good ones, the more elite ones, the squads that are fully developed and trained.
After gaining some more experience, some of the younger members of the Devastators may find themselves transferred into one of the chapter's many assault squads, where they learn the art of melee and meet the enemy head-on in close combat.
It's hammer time. Okay, so they've got giant hammers to smash things with. I mean, that thing, what does that weigh? It's probably a ton. So if you get hit by that, you're probably dead. Like, Perhaps a Necron wouldn't be dead because it could reform, but I don't know. Actually, blunt weapons are a pretty good weapon in close combat. Like, if things have armor, which I assume many of their opponents have as well, it's probably good to have a hammer. Like, a blade would probably not penetrate. And of course, you've got ranged weapons. But like for melee combat, I think a hammer is pretty good. But I'm no weapons expert, so who knows?
Once a battle brother has mastered the weaponry and tactics of the Scout, Devastator and Assault squads, then they can become part of a tactical squad. These tactical squads form the backbone of the chapter's military strength, and thanks to their training are considered to be jacks of all trades.
Oh, I think I got it wrong. So the Devastators are just heavy squads, like with rocket launchers or whatever things they shoot far, and yeah. So okay, I see. So they've got Scout, Assault, and a Devastator, and that's like you have to learn each of those, and then you get into a full-blown army. By the way, I've seen this like once or twice now in the images he showed. Do the Space Orcs and the Space Marines sometimes work together, or is this a battle where they fight each other? Because they all seem to shoot left, so I was wondering about that, but...
Able to perform well in any given situation upon the field of battle. A number of aspirants, however, will be selected and trained to perform specialist tasks within the chapter. Some will be sent to Mars to undergo the training to become a Tech Marine.
Okay, so on Mars we've apparently got an outpost now, and that outpost is technologically good. I don't know, what do they have? Very advanced facilities there, probably.
Where they will learn the tenets of the machine cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and gain knowledge on how to repair the chapter's vehicles and equipment.
Okay, mechanics.
Others will be sent to the Apothecarium, where they will be trained to become apothecaries, medics and healers who are responsible for future gene seed implantation and recovery.
Oh, they have to recover them as well from the corpses. Great job digging through corpses to find genetic material. Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's basically like they have the specializations now, like engineers, medics, perhaps the snipers. I don't know. And yeah, they are like like a normal army, but a lot better, a lot stronger, and a lot more built for just fighting.
And others still will be selected to become chaplains, who maintain the chapter's cultural beliefs and inspire their brothers to great acts of valor in the name of their emperor and Primarch. If they are found to have psychic potential, then these aspirants may find themselves selected to join the ranks of the Librarius.
Wow, so first of all, that's a pretty dope thing he's got going here, like with the apple in the skull thing and the book. And second, is that like, does he have to wear something to enhance his powers, or is that just cool looking?
Becoming trained as a librarian, warrior psychers of immense skill, discipline, and knowledge. If a hero of the chapter suffers wounds that are too grievous to be treated by the chapter's apothecaries, they may find themselves entombed within the sarcophagus of a Dreadnought, a robotic construct that is effectively a walking tank.
Did I get that correctly? Do they put their corpses into these tanks? Or like, why? Perhaps that's just the context I got wrong here, but it sounds to me like, oh, you're dying? Can't save you? Get into this tank. Now we'll use your brain as circuitry. Have fun for eternity.
Within a Dreadnought, an Astartes can live on and continue to serve the chapter for millennia to come. One of the most notable in this regard is Bjorn the Fell-Handed of the Space Wolves chapter, who fought alongside his Primarch during the events of the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy.
Okay, it is like I thought. So they're being kept alive, like probably like the Emperor was as well, with the weird chair they're in or whatever's left. Perhaps it's just their head somewhere and they live forever, just fighting, revenge for the Emperor. Something like that, I guess. That's excellent space horror there. Like, imagine that. Imagine being in this weird mecha thing forever, and best case scenario is a Tyranid comes and kills you, depending on your belief, or a Tau kills you, and the best thing would be to live on and serve your Emperor in pain. Like, I don't think, like, if you're still conscious in any way, you can't be on drugs, like, you wouldn't be efficient in a war, so you're probably fully conscious of what's left of you. Oh, God. I hate that. I hate stuff like this.
Unlike the rest of the Imperium who either worship the Emperor as a god or follow the tenets of the cult Mechanicus, the majority of Space Marine chapters hold true to their ancient customs and beliefs.
Is he eating an orc? Is he seriously eating a stupid orc? Or is that just, like, is he holding up his head and that's the food's unrelated? Oh, God. Why, mates? Why?
The tenets of each chapter cult will vary from chapter to chapter, and some can be extremely barbaric and savage. Regardless of their own cultural beliefs, all Space Marine chapters venerate the Emperor as the master of mankind, and will fight to the death to defend his Imperium and his subjects.
And beyond death. Like, I know they're not dead in these, like, robot things, but it's, like, worse than death, so.
Do not fail your brothers. Though their bodies die, their spirit must return to the chapter. That is your charge.
Oh, God, is that why they collect the genetic material? Because there's consciousness in it? Something like that? Or is that too magic? Is that too magic and am I overinterpreting this? I don't know. This is so nasty.
As mentioned earlier, the basis of an Astartes genetic augmentation comes from the genetic material or gene seed derived from their respective Primarch.
Okay, so we've got a second heart. One. To osmodular, do I know anything here? Oculobe, an oculobe. That might be something in the brain to enhance your view. Lyman's ear. Oh, God, I knew that once. What Lyman's something was? Neuroglottis. Okay, I don't know. Olytic kidney. What the frick is all this? What the frick?
As a result of this, chapters that are derived from the DNA of different Primarchs will display different traits from one another.
Wait a moment. This is so interesting. There's so much German stuff here. Like, this is in German. Anatomy. This is German. Is this, like, did a German write this? I will just look it up. Yeah, I didn't find it out. So if anyone knows, like, are there people that are German writing like some stuff of this? Because this is very interesting. I don't know, just because I saw the eagle and the German name the guy had, and this is German again. Perhaps it's also French. Perhaps this is French, but anyway.
It can be as minor as behavioral quirks, or as major as fully fledged genetic markers. Following the events of the Horus Heresy, only the gene seed of the 9 Loyalist Primarchs is officially used in the process of creating successor chapters.
Okay, so it was a 9 on 9. Okay, at least I accidentally got that right, probably. So it's 9 on 9. Interesting. So, and they officially use only those 9, but unofficially probably all of them.
But there have been rumors and speculation that some chapters have utilized a gene seed of some of the traitor Primarchs.
Again, these Wolverine claws.
When an Aspirant begins the process of being transformed into an Astartes,
wow.
A total of 19 separate organs are implanted into them if they are to become a standard Astartes, with an additional 3 implants in the case of Primaris Marines, which shall be covered later on.
Why, like, not why, how many are recruited each year? Like, is this rare that you get turned into this? Because it's the elite force, of course. So how many are they taking? Like, is it a lot or not?
While some of these organs are fully functional immediately after implantation, some will only become viable after certain other organs are implanted, or through a series of chemical treatments and hypnotherapy.
Oh God,
The
why?
first of these organs to be implanted is the secondary heart, which not only functions as a backup for the Astartes' own natural heart,
Okay, that
but
makes
this
sense.
organ can also help an Astartes survive in low oxygen environments and maintain blood flow.
Okay, so they're Time Lords. Great. I mean, that makes sense, but that's, yeah, oh God. So they've got a second thought. I mean, that's pretty clever. Like on a bioengineering level, that's a pretty clever idea.
The
You
second
also
is
need
the
more energy
osmodular,
though.
which helps reinforce an Astartes skeleton with ceramic materials that is drawn from the Astartes' own diet. In
Okay.
addition, this organ causes the bones to grow longer and thicker,
Ah,
accounting for the Astartes' increased size, as well as altering the rib cage into a series of interlocking plates to better protect the organs within.
wow. So that's pretty cool. So they like that's cool. So they restructure their bones to be bigger, better, and faster. Of course, not faster. That was, but yeah. I mean, that's very intelligent. I like the way this is written. It's like very realistic, I guess, because I'm not a biologist, so I'm a physicist. I have no clue about biology, but
The third is the biscopia, which stimulates the growth of extra muscle mass, enhancing an Astartes' physical strength. Fourth is the hemastamen, which increases the amount of hemoglobin within the Astartes' bloodstream, making it more efficient at transporting oxygen throughout the body.
I love this. I did not expect to get an explanation for every single organ, but they indeed give me that here. So I'm already happy. I didn't expect that. It makes a lot of sense. It's very well thought out. I really like this, the way the lore is presented here, like the way it's thought up. It's very consistent. It's very consistent, very cool. And like to a layman in biology, like I've had biology class in school, but that's it. This makes a lot of sense.
Sixth is the catalepsia node, which is implanted within an Astartes' brain. This organ controls the body's circadian rhythm and allows the Astartes to switch off certain portions of their brain in response to sleep deprivation, allowing an Astartes to remain awake for up to 2 weeks straight at a time.
Oh God,
The seventh
that's so horrific. I mean, reminds me of, you probably know the stupid story, the Russian sleep experiment. It's like an okay creepypasta, but it's about people being forced to stay awake and they all like go insane and talk to God or whatever. So it's like you have to sleep. I think you have to sleep every 96 hours or you just die. Like you die. It's nothing mysterious, you just die. So if you don't get sleep, you die. So all of you, please get a lot of sleep, take care of yourselves. But yeah, this is fascinating. So they can modify the brain to circumvent that. I mean, obviously they have to, because otherwise they couldn't contend with all the other races that might be like machines that are never asleep.
Eighth is the omophagia, which is implanted within the spinal cord and connected to the stomach. This allows an Astartes to experience the memories of the dead by eating their flesh.
Oh God, why? Like I know why, but why? Why? I mean, that's pretty good. Like, you can get a lot of intel. It's also pretty horrifying if you feel their pain. Like, I don't assume many people die of a very peaceful death that they eat. So, oh God. I mean, that's a cool skill. Like, are there games where you can actually like eat the corpses of your fallen brothers and you like get upgrades or XP? That would be so dark.
Ninth is the multilung, which allows an Astartes to breathe toxic gases, atmospheres with low oxygen density, and even water by shutting off their natural lungs in favor of this third lung.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like with the particles filters, so to speak. So one of them is that basically. So I got one right. One of them.
The 11th is the Liman's Ear.
Yeah, what is that? I
This
heard that
organ
before, the
completely
Lyman thing.
replaces an Astartes' natural ear for one that not only enhances an Astartes' hearing, allowing them to filter and enhance specific sounds, but also renders an Astartes immune to motion sickness.
Ah, yeah, it might have something to do with motion sickness. Yeah, I'm not sure though. I've heard that name before, Lyman. I know there's a Lyman series in physics, but this has nothing to do with this, obviously, but
And unable to be made dizzy.
from Lyman
12th is
spectrum.
the Susan membrane, which allows an Astartes to enter a state of suspended animation, either consciously or as an instinctive response to severe trauma.
Okay, so perhaps the walking corpse robots, perhaps they have that inside, though they probably wouldn't function then, so I guess this one is shut off in the walking robot horror terror coffins.
Allowing them to survive for centuries even after suffering the most grievous of wounds. The 13th organ is the melanchromic organ. This controls the amount of melanin within the skin of an Astartes,
Oh, that's
affording
cool.
them protection from not only intense sunlight by darkening the skin when needed, but also many types of radiation.
That is so cool. They can just change skin color. That is so cool. I love that. Oh, I love that. That's so cool. What a freaking cool idea. What a freaking cool idea. Yeah. But to shield against radiation, you would have to like strengthen the first layer of the skin, so to speak, or the first few. Otherwise, it wouldn't really stop radiation.
If an Astartes is afflicted with a lethal dose of toxins, the Ulytic kidney can perform an emergency detoxification of an Astartes' bloodstream.
How though?
Neuroglottis, which heightens an Astartes' sense of taste to an extreme degree, allowing them to identify numerous chemical components by taste alone.
Yeah, okay, so that's like all they have is like reconnaissance, survival, and yeah, that's basically it. Like it's the ultimate defense thing they are getting built into them. Like it's the biosuit they are being fitted with forever.
Where new organs can be grown and implanted into new aspirants, keeping the chapter alive.
So does their consciousness get transported with these seeds in these seeds? Or is it only like, yeah, we've had these problems, so fix them for the next generation? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If you can tell me in the comments, it would be lovely.
The final organ is the black carapace.
Yeah, what
which
is that?
implanted
What is that?
Under the skin of an Astartes. This carapace allows an Astartes to perfectly interface with its power armor at a neurological level, allowing it to
Oh.
become effectively
Oh.
a part of their bodies.
Oh,
However,
wow.
over the course of the last 10,000 years, the gene seed stock of the various Space Marine chapters has begun to slowly degenerate.
Yeah, okay, so two things. First, so they are perfectly bioengineered, perfectly engineered. Like the suit is engineered and the things inside are bioengineered, so they are the pinnacle of human engineering per se to make perfect warriors that survive almost everywhere, that can kill almost everything, and that are very, 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 very well built for war, of course. And for the degeneracy, yeah, of course that happens. Like you can't keep like you can't make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. It's the Asgard problem, so yeah. Ah, the
resulting in
bones.
the warriors of the chapter developing bony horns and crests, as well as blade-like protrusions from their arms.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the thing that makes their bones change like overreacts, and they get like super bone things, like these pointy sticks they get to point at people and into people.
Once the tithes have been received, the Adeptus Mechanicus will conduct purity checks upon it to determine if the mutations within the gene seed break the bounds of tolerance of genetic purity.
Yeah, but you can't hold that up forever. So what's gonna happen down the line when like every second seed is corrupted?
If a chapter's gene seed is deemed too flawed or too impure, then that chapter will be destroyed along with any and all of their gene seed stock.
Oh God. That also, like, they are not creating new ones. They could perhaps from the Emperor, like they still have the Emperor like on life support somewhere in a dungeon, so they could like take his seat again and create new things. But he didn't tell me that they do that, so they're in time gonna be wiped out by evolution, basically, because like it's basically evolution. Like DNA changes and like throw out 1,000 trials every generation, and some survive, and those are like then adapted because the others weren't. You know what I mean? So interesting. So they are like trying to counter evolution. They are trying to perfect evolution so that they're adapted to everything. But yeah, then it's still going. So interesting. I never heard this idea. That's a very interesting idea. I really like that.
Offer the incantation of activation. Speak forth the litany of retribution and deliver unto our enemy the wrath of the Omnissiah.
The Omnissiah is probably like the God Emperor. Hekmer Barabel, the Praetors of Orpheus. Yeah, Praetors again. This Roman theme here. Perhaps it's not. Perhaps it's not German. Perhaps it's a Roman theme. It's not German, and I'm just confirmation biasing here. That's always a possibility here. So they might be like it's very heavily inspired by Rome, by Roman structures. Interesting.
In addition to a standard Astartes, there are also what are known as Primaris Space Marines. These particular Astartes have their origins set during the events of the Horus Heresy, with the Raptor project conducted by the Primarch Corvus Corax of the Raven Guard Legion, which
Corvus Corax? Are you serious? He's not really called that. Why is he called Corvus Corax? Like Corvus is raven in Latin. And they are hunting ravens. What's with his raven love? Why does he love ravens? Like, did his parents love ravens? What's going on, Corvus? Like their Omega symbols.
a new breed of Astartes that would aid the Imperium in its darkest hour.
Okay.
Primaris
Archangels.
Marines are physically larger and stronger than a typical Astartes, and in addition boast a gene seed that is far more stable, with only a 0.001% chance of genetic deviation.
How? How did they achieve that, and why don't they do that for everyone?
This stability has also been able to seemingly eliminate some of the most incurable and infamous of genetic flaws, such as the Black Rage within the gene seed of the Blood Angels.
Black Rage, okay. Okay, first of all, this picture, like this image is pretty badass. I love it. That's really, really cool. So they are probably these rage guys. So he's got a sword. So he's in rage mode. Like they're like berserkering, really cool stuff. And so they've got 3 more organs. Why don't they do that with everyone? Is it because they are not accepted by many people and they die if you implant them, or why?
Many Space Marine chapters have been reinforced with this new and improved breed of Astartes, and even entire chapters have been founded that are comprised entirely of Primaris Marines.
Okay, so perhaps they took some more time to develop those, because the 3 organs they put in here that are like better, perhaps they were developed later than the others, and that's why they now start replacing the guys with these Primarias or Primara Astartes. So yeah, that makes sense. So they can, so it's just like they prove to be better, now they're spreading them. Interesting.
Giving the Imperium some much needed reinforcement.
Yeah.
However,
very cool.
It should also be noted that while some chapters welcome these new Astartes with open arms, some chapters have outright refused Primaris reinforcement for various reasons.
Yeah, I can imagine like that the guys with the bone things, that they don't like them, because that's like this bone thing is they're probably part of their culture. So they are basically getting told, yeah, your culture is not good. These are the new ones. They've got a better culture, so adapt to them. Yeah, I can see how this will not go well.
And that concludes this edition of 40k Lore for Newcomers.
Yeah, okay. So that was the video. Let me actually see if he has more.
If you like this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content.
Yeah, do that.
Until next
Support
time,
him.
this has been Remlace from 40k Theories. and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I really like this one. This one was badass. Like, so I now know what Astartes are. I'm probably gonna call them Astartes all the time, not Space Marines. I think Astartes just sounds cooler. And yeah, so that's horrifying. Like this, it's this typical thing where they are engineered, and you have got these horror visions in your mind when you think of it. That you lie on a table strapped in, like, I don't know, naked, and things are like opening you up and putting things in and stuff, like this horror scenario, a bit like in Quake when you get turned into a Strogg, if you've played that. Horrific stuff. Like by the way, how did they get the angel wings? Are those Astartes as well, or are those another faction? Because they look angelic as well, so I assume they're from the Emperor as well. So the Emperor, we know he's been met with a terrible fate. Yeah, so he's like I don't know what he is. He's just in the cellar somewhere, like probably not even able to see and hear and smell correctly anymore. Got hit in the chest with, I assume, a giant blade thing, perhaps like some debris stuck in here. So like it was 9 versus 9. Interesting stuff. Very, very interesting. I love the detail they have here. Love the detail. Like this is up my aisle. This is my stuff. Like the detail and why this does this and this does this. Like, and I can't even tell if it would do that. Like if this is even remotely feasible or not. Like I can tell you about all the physics stuff they're going to talk about somewhere down the line. I can tell you if that's feasible. But I can't tell you about biology. So I don't know, like I'm a layman, but I enjoy the creativity that went into the creation of this single type of being in this universe. So I can't wait to hear more. I know they are probably the ones that are planned through the best. Like they are, like I always get the impressions when I read my comments that they are like the main guys. But if I'm wrong here, just tell me. So yeah, Space Marines horror stuff, like the stupid. They are pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Like these walking tank bots where they're half rotten corpse, like they're not completely dead, but they're almost dead. And wow, horrifying stuff. I love this. This universe. This is exactly up my alley. I love the horror aspect. The cultural aspects that are put into here, mainly Roman themes. I noticed today, like this very Roman oriented thing, and I can't wait for more. And yes, always recommend other videos. I will try to watch the right. I planned on doing Last Church today, but I wanted to get more into the lore here before I do so. So tomorrow or like this week, somewhere down this week, or perhaps on the weekend, I will drop the video. Like I will react to this movie called what's it called? Yeah, it's the Last Chapel, I think, and I will react to that. So if you're interested in that, be my guest. And if you're still here and are still watching this video, thank you so much for staying. I hope you enjoyed the content a bit. And if I do something up, tell me. And what did you think? Like how did you get into this this world? Like were you told by friends, or did you see it somewhere? Like I told you before why. So yeah. And what faction do you play, or what race do you play, and why? Oh no, not why. Just tell me what you play, not why. I want to get to know them first, and then we will do something like that down the line, like where we look at perhaps comments that tell me why they play a certain race. And yeah, I really love this. Like this is well written. It's well written, and that's what I'm here for. Like stories with style, but mainly for the stories. Like I love good stories. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video again. Consider liking, subscribing, share the video to others, like perhaps help spread the word a bit of these reactions. And also check out other content of mine if you're interested in other good stories like Wheel of Time, or Tower of God, or Bleach, or what else? Dune. Be my guest. But I hope that you have a great start into the year 2023. And as always, take care of yourself, please. Bye.